Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome to a very exciting new video today, because this is F1 2021 Breaking Point, the brand new story mode for this year's Formula 1 game. Ever since that very first teaser trailer came in for this game, and this game mode specifically, I've been so eagerly anticipating this. We're going to be taking on the role of F1 rookie Aiden Jackson as he faces off against teammate Casper Ackerman and rival Devin Butler in this action-packed story experience, and I can't wait. We've been given early access to the game, and today we're allowed to upload the first in-game hour of gameplay from Breaking Point. Everything else will have to wait till later next week, but if you go on to enjoy this video, be sure to hit that like button, guys. If you're new around here, then do get subscribed, of course, for the rest of the Breaking Point story here on this channel, and obviously things like F1 2021 My Team career mode as well, launching next week when we are allowed to upload that kind of stuff. But let's dive in then, shall we? We've got three different difficulties to choose from: normal, challenging, and hard. Now remember, this is a very open to everyone story experience. So normal on the left hand side is going to be very much for casual fans that maybe never even played a Formula 1 game, and then hard is going to be for all of those of us that have played F1 games plenty in the past, as obviously you can tell I am in that category, going off my channel playing this game every single day. We've got 5 teams to choose from: AlphaTauri, Aston Martin / Racing Point, Alfa Romeo, Haas, and Williams. I wasn't really too sure what one to pick. Obviously, I didn't also want to try and choose the same one as other fellow creators, but I'm going to go with Alfa Romeo. My good old friends from Alfa Romeo will be in the kind of Ferrari Academy, essentially, with Aiden Jackson, and also because our older team at Ackerman there, in the lead up to this game, we've been kind of told a little bio, and it kind of sounded like he's a very kind of Kimi character, so it seems very fitting that we're in the Alfa Romeo team. But here we go then, the prologue, with the 2019 Formula 2 Championship coming down to the final race of the season. Young British driver Aiden Jackson is looking to etch his name into the history books. We're here at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the finale of the F2 2019 season. Let's do it.
An incredible race! Look at it! Every driver is being so aggressive! Check it out!
They'll all be feeling the pressure right now. None more so than young Aiden Jackson from Carlin.
That's right. Rumors from the paddock talk about a possible future for Jackson in Formula 1. And with only a few laps to go, this is still anyone's race.
The atmosphere here is electric, and we couldn't have asked for a better finish to the F2 season here in Abu Dhabi. Okay, Aiden, you're doing great. Keep focused. You know what to do. Copy that.
Copy that indeed. I am ready. We are 4 laps into 6 here. We're in 4th place. We've got to finish in 1st to win the F2 Championship. I also really like the little Breaking Point graphic there. Kind of matches the logo of Breaking Point. But anyway, besides the point, we're in P4 and we've got 3 cars to overtake to win the F2 Championship. We're going to try a little dive down the inside of Sitcom. Doesn't quite pull off there. I thought better of it because I thought we were going to get pinched in to the inside. Took a fair amount of curb there as well. And we can see, oh, the Lord and Saviour is up the road under blue flags in P20. So Nathan's still in the game, guys. Some of you guys were a bit sad he wasn't going to be a selectable F2 driver in the My Team career mode, but he's still here in the game, in spirit, I guess. But we overtake Sitcom up into P3. We've got Latifi to go and Giotto. Nice, obviously Latifi was way back in 2019. Now Latifi was in F2, of course. And so kind of nice, the fact that we span 3 different seasons from 2019 to 2021. But just having to watch behind us a little bit there. Sitcom comes through on the right-hand side. We go defensive to the inside. Also, Nathan getting out of the way under blue flags. And we're able to maintain the P3. And now we're going to go and chase after Latifi and try and close that gap. There's a smaller one to Giotto. So once we catch Latifi, I think we should be good. But we've only got, 2 laps after this 5 in 6. We need to try and get a move on. And of course, it's very, odd driving the F2 car always, because I don't drive F2 very often on the F1 games, on F1 2020 or even 2019 really. So it's always a little bit odd getting used to obviously the lack of downforce. And obviously remember on this game, we've now got, slightly different physics. The handling, the curbs are so much more kind of there and a bit more violent. You have to be very careful on that. And also the tyres also a massive difference. And it's a difference that you see even with these cars, that you feel it, that the tyres are a bit more on edge and the whole car is more on edge. But it's also at the same time a bit more catchable. You feel like you're kind of planted more to the ground. So kind of getting up to speed very quickly. And we're actually catching up to Latifi with some absolute gusto. We're going to send one to the inside. And, well, very much confirmed that Latifi is, he's very much the same sort of AI from the last game. Kind of gets out of the way a little bit there. And we're able to overtake him with ease. And now we can try and catch up to Luca Giotto, who may put up more of a fight. But depends if we can get him in DRS or not, maybe. But we're here now, on to the last lap of the Grand Prix. So this is going to be, well, it's a story experience. It's going to be a very dramatic and cinematic ending, maybe, if we catch Giotto, because we're a little bit far back. 1.4, bit of understeer kicking in there as we went down a gear into the left-hander before the right. So we may just catch Giotto maybe by the end of the second DRS straight. So this is going to be a last sector overtake for the first part of this story mode in the prologue. Can we become the F2 champion? I feel like it would be kind of, poor form if we didn't actually manage to pull this off and make Aiden Jackson the F2 winner, the champion, going into the rest of it. Because otherwise, when we meet Devin Butler, because remember, he's going to turn up at some point in this story, when we meet him, I mean, we can't give him first blood of not winning the F2 championship. And, he's going to have that over us. So let's try and get him if we can. We've got DRS here now. Obviously, no ERS to talk about in the F2 car. So just the slipstream of the DRS. We are still a little bit far back, but we're gaining quite a fair amount here in the brake zone as well. Purple second sector. You saw first red. So we lost some time in the first, but we gained it all back in the second. But we can't quite make the same dive we did on the TV on the left-hander. So playing the patient game. But even though I say that, we can't be too patient because we've only got a finite amount of corners to go to try and overtake Giotto. We had a look on the outside, try and look to the inside, doesn't work. Where am I going to make this overtake? We're running out of corners here. We're going through under the hotel at Abu Dhabi into the final corners. Where are we going to get Giotto? We've only got 2 corners to go. This is going to have to be the last corner, through the second last corner. Good exit, plant the power, dive down the inside. Easy does it on the inside. The checkered flag's going to fall, and on the last bend, we're going to do it and win the championship.
Fantastic work, Aiden. Great drive, mate. Congratulations. Yes! Come on! And he's done it. Jackson's done it. Aiden Jackson wins the F2 championship.
What a win for Jackson! What a win!
And it couldn't have gone to a better driver. A magnificent result. He's already been vocal about his dreams of one day driving for Ferrari in Formula One. Let's just hope the right people are watching today. And here he is, the man of the moment, Aiden Jackson.
An amazing race and a fantastic win for this incredible driver.
Indeed. After this, I guarantee that Jackson will be the hot topic in more than a few upcoming F1 team meetings. The future's definitely bright for this young driver.
I'm already really loving the kind of merge between the kind of in-game cutscene stuff and then the CGI, clearly. It fits in really well there. And that was the first time we got, I think, of Brian Doyle there. He was in the Alfa Romeo gear, so of course that will be all customized to whatever team you choose. But that was Brian Doyle, so we'll be seeing him pretty soon, I think, because he's going to be our main go-to guy, I think, as we step into Formula 1. So here we are, Chapter 1. So that was the prologue. Several months later at the Australian Grand Prix, obviously this game was made pre kind of COVID, so it's a kind of pretend 2020 where the Australian Grand Prix went ahead, of course, I assume. Having won the Formula 2 Drivers' Championship, Aiden Jackson has now secured a seat in Formula 1 and is preparing to take his first steps into the world's most prestigious motorsport series.
Aiden, now you've made the leap to Formula 1, no surprise to anyone who's been watching your career. How does it feel to be on the verge of getting behind the wheel for your first race?
To be honest with you, Will, it hasn't really quite sunk in yet. The team has given me a fantastic opportunity. It's a once in a lifetime, a dream come true. So, to answer your question, I feel like a little kid. I look around and I'm surrounded by my heroes, you know? I've even had to pinch myself a couple of times. So, yeah, it can be a bit overwhelming. But out on the track, the speed, the noise, even the smell, it's all the same. I just hope my driving is too.
And what about Casper Ackerman? Are you intimidated at all having such a seasoned and experienced driver as your first teammate in Formula One? How's that relationship coming along?
I've always looked up to Casper as someone to aspire to. Growing up as a kid, his pictures all over my bedroom walls, you know? The dream was always to be Casper. But, as it turns out, I'll be racing alongside Casper, which is good enough for me. I get to learn from the best. Besides, every legend has to start somewhere, right?
Aiden, just wondering if we can get your reaction to the obvious comparisons that are being made between you and another F1 driver. Much like you, he made the transition from F2 to F1 last season. What do you say to the press here, and to your fans, who are calling you the new Devon Butler?
The new Devon Butler. I'm alright with that. Does that mean we can lose the old one?
You come over well. They like you. I don't know what you were worried about.
Thanks.
You know, everything's going to be fine out there today. I just know it. Just do what you did in F2. Easy.
Thanks, Brian. I won't let you down. Come on, Aiden. You've got this.
Brian seems like a stand-up guy. He's like a geezer, you know the type, down the pub, absolute geezer, and hopefully we're going to be seeing some more of him later. But yeah, no, seems like a good man to go to. But here we are then, we've got a whole new little vista and place here, this kind of little menu system essentially without breaking point. So we've got the newsroom, obviously this would be where the driver's room is. We've got, some fruit, some water, we've got a few simple things and all our team gear. And I must say, Aiden Jackson's actually got a pretty sick helmet design as well, with the crazy stuff going on here. But as we go on to social then, as we've got a call from Brian, we just talked to you, man. Why are you calling me already? But anyway, as we go through the social, you may recognise a few familiar names, including, who's this idiot? Is it too early to call for Mercedes, question mark? I don't know, Arav. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to tweet you later and I'll let you know. But anyway, Brian seems pretty insistent on calling us, so let's pick up the phone and see what he has to say.
Hello?
Aiden, are you in your room?
Oh, hey Brian. Yeah, I'm in my room.
Of course I am. You were just with me.
Well, have a look around. I hope you like it. Should be everything you need in there. News feeds, social media. It's hooked up to the lot. Just do me a favour, eh?
Go on.
Make sure you check your emails. I think there's a message in there for you.
Oh, right. Thanks, Brian.
Take a breather, do what you need to do, and I'll see you before the race.
This man simply called me to remind me to check my email. I mean, to be fair, Formula 1 drivers, I guess they're very busy people, so, it makes sense, but also at the same time, you could have just told me to check my emails in person. And now, I'm the most popular man in the world. We've got our mum is calling us. We've got to pick up.
Hello?
Hello, love. How's it going?
All right, Ma. Yeah, it's going all right. Just getting ready.
I saw your interview.
And?
You need a haircut.
All right. Well, thanks, I guess.
But aside from that, you were great. I'm so proud of you, Aiden.
I know, Ma. Thanks.
I wish I could be out there with you. This is everything you've worked towards.
Yeah, I know, but you'll be at the next one.
Just do what you do, and everything will be great.
Thanks, Ma.
And remember, mirror signal maneuver. And always stick to the speed limit.
Great advice. I'm all over it.
I know you are, love. I'll speak to you later. Good luck.
Bye.
That was the most classic mum conversation I've heard. That's like a convo I would have with my mum if I was an F1 driver. And she seemed pretty upset about not being in the first race. Maybe she's going to pop up later. I don't think she's a main character in the game, but she may pop up later when we're winning the F1 championship. Let's start off confident here. But anyway, we've got some emails now as well. Frederick Vasseur inviting us, welcoming us into the team, but obviously he's saying there in the email that Brian will be our main port of call. We've got a weekend preview for the Australian Grand Prix, so very much this is kind of set out as if, you know, the pandemic didn't happen and that the first race is going to be the Australian Grand Prix, round number 1. And then we've actually got an email from our teammate, which is a bit odd. Casper Ackerman has sent us a good luck email, which kind of already seems a bit passive-aggressive, I can't lie, with the subject. I noticed that you left your paperwork over in the garage, so I handed it to your PA. You can thank me later. Does that just mean you've just been snooping at my paperwork, like my setup stuff for Australia? I'm not liking the vibe going on already, and I've not even met you properly in a cutscene yet. But hey, good luck out there today. It's your first race. Let's see what we can do together, Casper. Well, you know that was a bit nicer. You know, I'm not gonna prejudge him. Let's see what happens in our first race together as teammates. And we're gonna load in mid-race then to the Australian Grand Prix for Chapter 1 with the world watching and expectations high out. Alfa Romeo F1 rookie Aiden Jackson appears to be holding his own in his maiden race in Melbourne. With the possibility of a points finish, he keeps focused on the race in front of him.
A solid start, Aiden. Let's try and push it further.
Copy that. Where's Casper?
He's up ahead. Let's try and bring you two closer together.
Right, 9 laps to go then in this Australian Grand Prix. We're P14 then, and Ackerman, our teammate, is in P10. So we've got to try and catch up to him before lap 11. So we've got 5 laps then to try and catch him. That is the target. We've got Ricciardo in between and another car as well that we can't see quite yet. But Ackerman is the one staying at the very top of the standings. Of course, that's the main target. So let's see what we can do. But this also, you know, compared to the F2 as well, this is also a weird experience as well, because remember, this is a 2020 Alpha. These are all 2020 cars right now. We're playing the 2020 season in this part of the story mode. So even this is odd, because obviously it's a car I'm familiar with from the last F1 game, but it's different handling, different physics. But having already driven a bit with the proper F1 cars, obviously with the early early preview videos we did, we should get up to speed pretty quickly. Let's go chase after Ricciardo then in the Renault, and then obviously ultimately try and catch up to Casper Aikman as well. Lap 7 though, we're catching up to Ricciardo. First and foremost, have to get past him, and also Russell, who's for position. He goes a little bit defensive. Ricciardo fade to the left, went to the right. They got very, very close, and Ricciardo gets the move done on Russell on hard tyres, so he's a bit slow now in the second phase of the race. We can't quite make a cheeky dive on the inside of Ricciardo right now, the home favourite here in the Renault, but let's try and see what we can do on to lap number 8. We've got the ERS also, plenty of battery pack left in there, DRS open, and here we go for the move. Of course, on this year's game, remember, there's no more rich mix with the fuel. It's just the ERS and DRS, but we get the move done eventually, get the elbows out a bit into turn 1, then hit a bit of understeer, and then, oh my god, I didn't even realise, looky here. Would you believe it? Devon Butler, we meet for the very first time on F1 2021. On track this is. Even before a cutscene, we have seen Devon Butler on track. P11, we're going to overtake him. We're going to try and mince him on the inside. Very aggressive dive bomb there. He's in the AlphaTauri, which is pretty cool for me, because if you remember back to F1 2019, Butler and my career mode back on that game ended up in a Red Bull. So that's a nice Easter egg. At this stage, we've not really got any bad blood with a Devon too much, really. But, as the rear end steps out there, you can see what I mean by, I said earlier, you can catch the car quite well, although the car is very much on edge. But now, let's try and not do that too many times and actually try and catch up to Casper in P10. This is for the points-paying positions, you know. So first race, our debut in Formula 1, this will be a massive thing if we can overtake Casper and beat our veteran teammate, remember. You know, he's a veteran in the sport, so this will be a big deal for us. You know, kind of almost the same if Giovinazzi went and overtook and, you know, beat Raikkonen in his first race in the debut, or any really, you know, rookie, teammate versus their more veteran one. And so we're slowly gaining. We're within 1 second now, so we'll have DRS coming up onto lap 11, which was our objective, obviously, to catch up to Casper by lap 11.
It's Australian Grand Prix this has been, but there's still plenty of time for more drama. There certainly is, Crofty, and these two have been fighting each other incredibly hard so far. They don't want to go tripping over each other though, because Devon Butler is coming up from behind. He's on the attack too.
Aiden, Casper's not your priority. We need you to defend.
It's okay. I've got this.
Here comes Butler. 3 abreast going into turn 11. Oh, this can't work! And it doesn't! Ackerman's off onto the verge of what looks like damage as well.
Is he okay? Is Casper okay?
He'll be fine. He's heading for the pits now. You just concentrate on the race.
There we have it. Well, I'm sure there's going to be fireworks at the Alfa Romeo garage tonight.
There will be, Crofty, for sure. Look, it was a late move from Devon Butler, but you never want to see two teammates make contact, and Ackerman will surely be seething at that one.
Absolutely, and I tell you who else isn't going to be happy too. Aiden Jackson. Not how his F1 race debut should have gone.
Are you kidding me? Really? I said we hadn't, met Devon yet. We hadn't have any reason for him to be a bit tetchy with us. Well, now I do, because for me, he dived down the inside there. He didn't need to make it 3 wide. He shouldn't have. 3 wasn't going to go into 1 there, and instead, ourselves, Aiden, had to swipe it right there, make some contact with Casper, and so he's broken wing. So not an ideal, rookie debut, making contact with your teammate like that, making him go off on the grass. But the least we can do now is catch back up and make up for this, and let's still get that P10, still get 1 point on the debut, and get points for the team. And this time we're having to re-overtake Butler, but now we mean business. We're gonna be no Mr. Nice Guy. If he puts up a fight, we're definitely gonna be a little bit more aggressive towards him if he does put up a fight, and I suspect he might do this time round versus the first time there after making a dive to the inside for 3 wide. But here we are then on towards lap 13, then DRS open, gaining on Devon Butler. He goes defensive to the inside line there. We're gonna bang tyres. We're gonna make it known how annoyed we are at him. We go for the switchback from left to right. Doesn't quite work out there, but we get the better exit. DRS second by the cherry. This is on the second straight after turns 2, and now we go defensive to the inside, cover off Devon, but he's actually around the outside then. He gives us a real good scrap, but we're going to maintain the position. Bit of understeer kicking in, maybe the tyre wear a bit high in that front left for sure, as I looked at it earlier, but we're up into P10 then, behind Lando Norris and Alexander Albon, in the Toro Rosso. Is it in 2020? Yeah, Toro Rosso started off the season. Yeah, it started off the season, Toro Rosso, actually. I actually forgot that was even a thing. He swapped over. So yeah, but we make it into the point, and in the end of it though, it's going to be Lewis Hamilton that wins this race, but we do recover and we make up for it. So I don't know how this is going to go in the debrief, really. I'm sure the team are going to be annoyed at me, or maybe the press might press me about what happened with Casper, but ultimately I feel like we got points in the end still, and I don't think that was my fault. I think that wasn't our fault. That was Devon Butler's fault.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
The Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. What a start to the season this has been. A fascinating race here in Australia, Act.
The top teams as ever continue to push the boundaries of the sport, and it'll be interesting to see how the new Alfa Romeo driver Aiden Jackson settles in, especially after that early incident involving his teammate.
Well, we've certainly seen rivalries born from less. Suffice to say, if you came into the 2020 season hoping for a bit of drama, it looks like you won't be disappointed. After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So Hamilton wins in 2020 then, no surprise, but the fallout is going to be between myself and Casper, and I wonder also what Devon's going to say. Maybe this can be the first time we see him in the story, because we've got an awkward incident involving Devon Butler and his own teammate Casper Ackerman marred Jackson's maiden outing in F1. That doesn't sound good. That sounds like we're about to get bollocking, or there's going to be a bit of drama here.
Casper, listen, I don't know what happened out there. It wasn't my fault.
Well, whose fault was it then?
Oh god, he's pissed.
Who was the idiot behind the wheel of your car?
I gotta say, his voice matches what I thought he would be like.
You're pathetic. You won't even admit when you made a mistake.
How
did they ever sign you?
Okay. Oh, here he is. Here he is.
Devon, I didn't see that.
What, like, out on the track today? You nearly took me out, mate.
Look, I don't know what happened. You cut in, I swerved. Next thing I knew, Casper was out.
Whoa. Mate, I was nothing to do with it. Whatever that was all on you.
Huh?
Don't be trying to pass the blame, because you haven't settled in yet.
That's how he wants to play this, huh? That's how he wants to play this. Nice to see you back in the F1 world, mate.
Sorry, Aiden. Just bear with us one sec.
No problem.
I think that's really just a case of rookie driver, rookie mistakes. These cars are a bit different.
Oh, look at him go.
You seem to find your feet quite quickly after you graduated from Formula 2. What advice would you give to Jackson in his first season?
Well, stay out of my way mostly. And taking out your own teammate isn't something I would make a habit of.
Almost ready, Aiden. We're just checking audio levels.
Sure.
Seriously, Casper must be wondering what on earth Alfa Romeo were thinking.
That's great. Thanks, Devon.
Yeah.
I simply want to hit him off the circuit. I simply don't like him.
Let's talk about that incident with your teammate.
Also, Aiden needs to buck up. Come on, lad. Come on. Yeah, you look way too down and downbeat, all right? Look, I am driving as you, mate, okay? None of this, you know, I'm sorry. We need to be a bit, you know, have a bit of gusto behind us in the interviews, lad. None of this.
Brian.
Talk to me. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Listen, what happened out there today? I had it all under control and then...
Look, let's not go through all that now. We'll talk about it at the debrief.
Right, yeah.
I was actually talking about your little run-in with Casper and Butler over in the paddock.
Oh, wow. News travels fast.
The paddock talks, Aiden. Besides, I've got ears like a hawk. Listen, Butler's a clown. The man's ego is bigger than a... No, I've got nothing. Don't give it a second thought.
Thanks, Brian.
But Casper? Yes, he can get a little hot-headed, especially after a race. But you have got to work with him. That manoeuvre today...
Wasn't my fault, Brian.
It probably cost us points. I'll level with you. A lot of people on the team are disappointed, Aiden. And I'll be saying as much to Casper. Now, learn from it and move on. But you can't let it happen again. I'll see you at the debrief.
And Brian coming in with the ever kind of, you know, cool, calm, collected, nice little arm over us. It's calm. I still, though, maintain... I just want to punch Devon. I mean, simply off that first scene alone, which is, quality stuff. It's good to see they've really, didn't water him down. If anything, they made him more of an arse than they did from F1 2019, really. But we've got some emails here. Hey, Hayden, we've got hair and makeup arriving at your hotel room, 9 a.m. sharp. I know you said you didn't need it, but the client insists. Then a car will be there at 10 to take you to a location. Wardrobe meet you on site. I've seen some of the looks they want. Be open-minded, okay? I know I'm going on, but that's what a good PA is for. Okay. So could we maybe be getting some photo shoot cutscenes later or something like that? I don't know, but nice little context there to the world of Formula 1. Of course, as F1 drivers have to shoot off and do a lot of PR stuff, but yeah, I don't think that was our fault. Like, Devon dived down the inside. We had to move a bit to give him space, but in doing so, obviously, that's when we made our error. But ultimately, if Devon didn't send one, we wouldn't have to do that. But that's beside the point. It's happened, and he's been a prick about it. But I'm sure we can get him back, hopefully, or hopefully we will get him back. I'm hoping. But anyway, we move then into Chapter 2. 1 month later at the Chinese Grand Prix, the world of motorsport moves fast, with focus quickly shifting to the Chinese Grand Prix. Aiden Jackson and Alfa Romeo are eager to find form heading into the fourth race of the 2020 season.
It's the Chinese Grand Prix here in Shanghai, and this track fast becoming a rookie's favourite. Alex Albon, remember him from last year? A brilliant race in his debut season, and it looks like Aiden Jackson's continuing the trend.
He really is, Croft. He's showing great promise so far this season.
Well, here's Ackerman now, going up behind his young teammates.
The rumour in the paddock, Crofty, is that the tension's building between these two. Let's see what happens here.
Here we go, Ackerman's going for it! Down the inside of the hairpin, he's bashed his teammate off the track!
What are you doing? Casper, what the hell?
Looks like Jackson's really struggling to get over that.
Okay, Aiden, keep it focused, concentrate.
That brush with his teammate clearly affecting the young driver.
It looks like it has, Crofty. I can't see any significant damage to that car, so he's going to have to pull himself back into this race.
Car's looking okay, Aiden. See if you can recover a few places.
What was that all about?
You can recover, Aiden.
That's not okay. That's really not okay.
Civil War. Alfa Romeo Civil War. Beautiful, okay? Look, listen, you can't have a good story without a bit of Civil War in Formula 1. I feel you guys know how much I love that in storylines with Formula 1 career modes in the past. And we've got one here in Breaking Point. Casper, what the hell was that? That was like an absolute send and then just full elbow jab out on the left-hand side. So we're down to then P14 then as the rear end snaps a bit overcast here around China, and we're on lap 8 of 14, catching up to Lando Norris then in the McLaren, and we've got a lot of work to do to try and catch up to Casper, but we've set a purple last sector, so we've got some good speed in the car, in a straight line at least here, I would say, but let's see how we go. China, a bit of an all. I haven't driven China in absolute ages. We're going to try and go around the outside of Lando in the McLaren. Easy does it, lock up in the front left, close stuff there, nearly wheel banging, but we're going to give him the room, unlike Casper did to us, and then on the exit having to use a bit of an ERS to try and just get ahead. We can't go fully to the inside there as Lando really gets to nose him. We have to give him some space there. He's there in the mirrors, but eventually gives up the position there. And, well, I was hoping that's what, that would happen at that corner with Casper, but clearly not. Casper committed to the dive, unlike Lando there, and hit us off. So now we've got work to do. We're P9. Looks like Casper, I think he's like P8 or 7. Maybe, I think P8 or 9. So let's push on and see if we can try and re-overtake him later in the race. But firstly, of course, we have to try and dispatch the cars in between us. The objective is not actually to even overtake Casper. It's actually just to gain back 10th place. It looks like he may be in 10th quite nicely. But there's, I don't know, obviously this is a normal kind of, race with AI. So there might be half a chance that he goes and overtakes someone else with P9. But we've got to try and recover the P10 that we were in pre that collision with Ackerman. So we're catching up to Ocon then, the other Renault. We've already overtaken one Renault in this story so far, Ricciardo Australia. But like I said, yeah, as I was overtaking Norris, I was about to say, it's again an oddity of, driving China. Weird thing, because I haven't driven it in absolute ages. The last time I must have driven it was, I think, season 3, I think, in F1 2020, my team career mode, which was literally like last year, I think, like in October or something like that. So it's been a minute, and this is actually playable. China is actually playable in F1 2021 in Grand Prix mode, so because it's in Breaking Point, so they allowed us to play in Grand Prix mode and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool of it, because of course at the moment it's not completely confirmed to be on the F1 2021 calendar, but we're now catching up then to Ocon, then back to the racing action at hand. He goes a bit defensive there, but we've got DRS, and it's a nice dive in through to the hairpin up into P12 then. Russell this time not for position, he's under blue flags, so we overtake him with ease there, lets us through, and the next car along for position is Carlos Sainz then in the McLaren, and then Ackerman is there in P10 in the other Alfa Romeo car, and on the mini-map he's a little bit further ahead of the McLaren, so we've got a bit of work to do maybe once we dispatch of Sainz, but we've got to try and get through Magnussen. A bit of awkward timing here with the blue flags, no great way to let us through in those corners, but thankfully Magnussen, is he going to let us through here? Yes, he will. Get out of the way. We deploy some ERS there to try and boost ourselves through, and then try and get on the back of Sainz in Sector 2 and try and maybe make a move again. I would say at the DRS straight, because it seems like that's where we're getting a decent amount of time there in a straight line, I would say. And into the hairpin then on that very same lap 11. We are there through, and we're able to maybe make a move into turn 1, which is going to be a little bit close. On the outside though, we did try to pull it off with Lando Norris, and we somewhat pulled it off. Obviously we're still side by side with him on the exit, but here we go across the line then, lap number 12, P12, but P11 maybe as we go to the inside with the ERS help as well. Very close to the left hand side, nearly grazed Sainz's side pod, but soaring away at the steering wheel, trying to just kind of ride the curb a little bit on the inside and maintain the position. The Alfa Romeo understeering a little bit versus the McLaren, but in the end we do get the position into P11, and now it's just me, the Ackerman for P10. Albon in the Toro Rosso, he's a bit further up the road, and so I think we should be good to just be battling Ackerman. I don't think we'll actually be battling Albon then. Is it even the Toro Rosso? Is it? I can't even remember. 2020? No, was it? No, it wasn't. It was the Alpha Tauri, but he's still in that blue. Anyway, that's besides the point. Here we go then. Fast up for the Grand Prix, there for Aiden Jackson. We're closing up to Ackerman now. Round the outside. Is he going to try and get the elbow out again? I'm a little bit cautious. Don't know what he's going to do here, Force off once, but easy does it. Very fine on the right-hand side. But That's how you do it, Casper. That's how you overtake someone and not having to hit them completely off. Obviously, there's a difference between aggressive, dive bombing and getting the elbows out and then just shoving them completely, off circuit and making them lose a couple of positions, especially when it's your teammate, mate. Especially when it's your teammate, all right? A bit of respect it goes a long way. But we're through into P10. But the fight's not over yet, because on to the last lap of the Grand Prix. Ackerman comes back at us. Remember, he is DRS now into turn 1. Round the outside we go, so we have to battle. Ackerman, we're making some contact there on the side, but I think that was, as we got some damage and some grazing to Ackerman's side on the right-hand side. So close. We maintain the position, and hopefully we can for the remainder of the lap. Valtteri Bottas will win this Chinese Grand Prix, and we come home, and we are going to get that singular point, but it is points for us and no points, nil point for Casper. And I think a bit of karma there, I think.
Well, plenty to digest there, and a little bit ominous seeing the two Alfa Romeo teammates make contact again.
Things don't look stable between these two drivers, Crofty. They've barely been teammates 5 minutes.
That wheel bump, could that have been avoided, Ant?
Yeah, it looked like Ackerman was making a bit of a statement to me. He's certainly not given Jackson any room.
A sign of things to come? Well, for their sakes, let's hope not. That wraps things up here in China. Until next time.
So you heard Crofty and Anthony Davidson there talk about the kind of destabilisation a bit. So I think things are slowly boiling away. And I feel like at some point things are going to boil over. Because right now we're just kind of getting... It's the repeat at China, the second time, third time. Will we be so lucky? Probably not, I don't think, if things are going to heat up even more. And I think also Butler's going to play a part. I'm sure Butler's going to just prod and poke and make things worse. Maybe even say something to Casper. I definitely wouldn't put it past him to say something to Casper to make him hate us more or something like that going on through this season. But as we go on through here to the end of Chapter 2, following an eventful Chinese Grand Prix, tensions are on the rise, and Alfa Romeo's Jackson and Ackerman again make contact with one another, like I said, following an aggressive overtake maneuver by the veteran Chinese Grand Prix post-race. Oh, here we go. Look at that stride.
Casper, what the hell was that?
Look at us, man.
You nearly put me out the entire race. Bumping wheels like that, you could have put us both into the barrier. Casper, come on, man.
I have to make a phone call.
Casper.
Wow, Raikkonen vibes indeed.
Ackerman!
Raikkonen vibes indeed.
Mum! Cancel the TV subscription. The entertainment is right here.
Oh, come off it. Do you really have nothing better to do?
Right now? No. And why would I want to miss this? You two are like characters in a badly written sitcom. He wanted your lot to sign Ricardo,
You what, mate? You what?
Ask anyone.
What do you mean?
The paddock talks, mate. And so did Ackerman.
Oh, he's stirring here.
Should have heard him last season. He didn't care who he talked to, and he was always going off on one about you. He tried to stop him from signing you. He didn't want to play babysitter.
Oh, he did he?
Everyone knows. Have you not seen the way that people look at you? We all feel sorry for you, mate. You never stood a chance with him. You want my advice? Prove him wrong. Chin up.
Oh, we'll prove him wrong. We'll prove him wrong. And we'll prove you wrong as well, Devon. I'm not forgetting about you, mate. You're not getting away scot-free, but I'm going to prove him right. He didn't want us to sign for the team. Look, he's just afraid. He's afraid of the new gen coming through. Veteran, silly man. Get out, get started. Go enjoy retirement, mate. But anyway, that's just me getting a bit too into the story. But that is going to be the conclusion of this first part of the Breaking Point series on my channel, guys. That is the first in-game hour, even though the video technically won't be a whole hour because I've edited out, obviously, the bits that, nothing was happening. But that was the in-game first hour that I'm allowed to upload. So if you are new around here, then remember to hit that red subscribe button down below, and you can get clued in with the rest of this series with myself on the channel from next week. And of course, the launch of my F1 2021 My Team career mode as well coming next week. But if you guys guys did enjoy that first taster of Breaking Point, the new story mode, then be sure to smash that like button. Let me know what your thoughts in the comments below. Who's your favourite character so far? Is it Casper, Aiden, ourselves, or Devin? I'm sure a lot of people like Devin in a kind of, you know, he's annoying and it's great to see him back in a kind of annoying sort of way. I definitely think I'm that way. It's great to see him back, and I'm so excited to delve more into this story because this is just the beginning. I think it's going to really heat up now in the next couple of chapters for sure by the sounds of it. But till then, guys, hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I am so excited. F1 2021 is not fully here quite yet, but we're so close. Till next week. Till then, guys, hope you enjoy the day. Goodbye.